to retool Nigerian economy, retool the country into a more sustainable path of progress. And this the government has been doing in the last 16 months since it is coming. One of these very key, important philosophies or programs of the government is about energy security. We know that Nigeria is oil-rich country, but as the saying or the experts say, Nigeria is actually a gas-rich country that also has oil. What it means is that the country is very well endowed with natural gas, which for years remained untapped and underutilized. And one of the very important decisions of the Tinubu administration is to see how these gas resources will be harnessed to kill two birds with a stone. That is to say, to bring down costs of transportation in the country, or energy costs in general, and also at the same time reduce our overdependence on increasingly expensive PMS, that is petrol. And it is in that regard that the government came up with the idea of presidential CNG initiative. And part of the activities of the CNG program is to roll out mass transport vehicles that would be used by ordinary Nigerians and help in cushioning especially the impact of oil subsidy, removal of subsidy on PMS, and generally help in boosting our economy by bringing down, by helping cheapen the cost of transport and therefore, and the resultant impact on services and goods nationwide. This afternoon, as we are on the verge of commemorating the 64th independence ceremony, we are gathered here today to anchor an event that also touches on this aspect of our economy, that is the energy issue, but also that has a symbolic impact on our independence ceremony, our 64th independence ceremony that is happening today. Without letting the cat completely out of the bag, I would at this point call the Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation, Alhaji Muhammad Idris, Fellow of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, to fully spill the beans for this afternoon's gathering. Honorable Ministers.
Thank you, Special Assistant to the President of Information and Strategy. The Honorable Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edu, the Honorable Minister of Budget and National Planning, the Honorable Minister of State Youth, the MD of the Presidential PCNG Initiative, the Special Assistant to the President on Digital Media, the Vice Chairman of the PCNG Initiative itself, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and of course other top government officials. Like Abdulaziz said earlier, this is an important day for this country. Recall that last year, in October, after negotiation with the Nigerian Labour Congress, the President has reiterated once again his commitment to ensure the availability of CNG buses to first the Nigerian workers, other members of the Nigerian public, and everyone in this country. Now, this is a very important day because here we are today with the buses around us. It is impossible to have all the buses that we require, the PC or the CNG buses here, but we have about 64 of them to commemorate the 64th independence anniversary of our great nation. I thought we'll have a club here at this point. We have various forms of types of buses. We have the 100-seater and we have the seaters, all of them about 64. Now, this is the necessary first step that the president is unveiling to Nigerians to have these buses run through the streets of our cities from today. As we live here today, expect to see the CNG buses plying not just the routes of Abuja, but the routes of all the major cities and crannies of this country. And I want us to know that, yes, it is possible that some will say, how many are 64 buses? I want to reiterate that this is just the necessary first step that the government is unveiling. Already, about 600, over 600 of these buses, CNG buses, have already been ordered. Many have arrived, others are on their way. Over 34,000 of conversion kits to help Nigerians to convert their vehicles to CNG. Then nearly 100 of also electric buses are also being ordered, and they are going to arrive this country any moment from now. Now, what is significant is that beyond the contribution of the federal government towards this transition from fossil fuel to clean energy, bringing down the cost of transportation, enhancing our energy competitiveness. And what this means in plain language is that if, for example, you are spending about 1,000 to get to where you were going before, you'll be spending about 60% less. Maybe it will cost you less than 400. This is not an example. So this is a great step forward. And like the compare has said, the PMS is a very expensive commodity. It's becoming expensive all over the world, not just in Nigeria. Therefore, this is one of those initiatives that the federal government has taken, led by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to ensure that Nigerians do not just have transportation cut down for them significantly, but also encouraging what is happening in the world over transition from fossil fuels to cleaner energy. So the green initiative that the world is preaching has actually commenced in Nigeria today. And therefore, I don't want to, like Abdulaziz said, he doesn't want to spill the beans. I may have spilled part of the beans, but the other part of the beans that will be spilled will be done by the leader at this gathering, the Honorable Minister of the Economy and the coordinating, Minister of Finance and the coordinating Minister of the Economy, to give us further details of what this is all about. But like I said, this is a promise kept by Mr. President, one of those promises that he has made and he has kept, and we hope that Nigerians will see more and more of this as we unfold. Happy Independence Anniversary to all Nigerians, and the labor unions that are represented here by the Secretary General of the Trade Union Congress and others will also testify to this, and they will go home with these buses, not go home to their homes, but go home to their offices for onward distribution to all Nigerians in these buses, not just them, also the students' union leadership. Let me not spill too much of these beans again. Let me invite the Honorable Minister of Finance and the coordinating Minister of the Economy to give you the details of what today's event is all about. Honorable Minister.
Thank you and good afternoon. The Honorable Minister for Information and National Orientation, Honorable Minister for Budget and Economic Planning, Honorable Minister of State for Youth, Secretary General TUC, the Managing Director of the Presidential CNG Initiative, and indeed the Vice Chairman of that committee on CNG. Other government officials here present, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen of the press. Let me, first of all, we have just come, some of us, from the church service commemorating our 64th anniversary of the independence of Nigeria. So let me say happy independence, happy anniversary to you and indeed all Nigerians. It's a major milestone, 25 years of unbroken democracy under the presidential system, and of course 4 years and a nation. Our prayer is that we have many more years of such. Amen. Now, today marks a milestone. As my colleague, my brother, Minister of Information said, first of all, it is a promise kept by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But the promise that he has kept, and his promise is not to provide CNG buses, CNG kits, CNG tricycles. No. The promise he made when campaigning, when president-elect, and he did, he is keeping as president, is to intervene on the side of the poor and the most vulnerable in the aftermath of what we all knew were necessary macroeconomic reforms to set the country on the path of economic stability that would allow investment, that would increase productivity, grow the economy, create jobs, and achieve his overall aim for Nigerians, a better life, reduction of poverty. So, this promise kept is here symbolically presented as 64 buses, of course, on our 64th anniversary. And so we have several hundred, about over 500 CNG buses, roughly 100 electric vehicles on their way, on order, and being delivered by the day. And as we have said, from today, the rollout will begin. It's a transition. Most importantly of all, for Nigerians, and particularly, as we can see, the emphasis is on mass transit. The emphasis is on intervening on the side of workers so that they have cheaper transport that helps them cope with the increased price level generally, which was predicted and which was an inevitable fallout of making the economy better. Apart from that, this also signifies a major step in the fight against inflation. We've had an initial spike in inflation. Now it has peaked and it is coming down. And the determination, Mr. President, and the whole team is to ensure that we keep inflation coming down. This is one of the major ways. CNG fueled transportation. CNG fueled lower costs. So we can.
When used without discretion and thoughtfulness, bad social media users spread rumors and fake news without verification. But good social media.
And then the dry season planting starting from November with fertilizer, with inputs, with seeds, and with herbicides and so forth, all in an attempt to get prices down, get the economy moving again. And I don't need to tell you, because I'm sure you all follow the news, that you can see that the policies being implemented are achieving the goals. One major goal is to encourage investment, particularly in the oil and gas sector where we have advantage. Our own transition to climate change transition and our own way of meeting our obligations under the climate change treaties we have signed is not to turn our back on our God-given oil and gas resources. We will have to use those to industrialize, but turning to cheaper fuel, cleaner fuel from CNG is at least one of the ways in which we are looking to contribute. As for the all-important oil and gas sector, we have heard recently Total Energies has come in with investment. ExxonMobil has announced a huge $10 billion investment. So things are definitely looking up, and I congratulate all of us both on our independence and achieving this major step in our transition to a cleaner and cheaper fuel. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy. As the Minister of Information has said, this is a promise kept, and also, as the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy has said, this is yet again another step to make life easier for Nigerians. At this point, I would want to call on representatives of the beneficiary clusters, that is the labor movement as well as student leadership, to say a few words in response to this gesture of the government. I would invite the Secretary General of the Trade Union Congress, Comrade Nuhu Toro, to speak first. Comrade.
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen of the press, please permit me to stand on the already established protocol. It is with sincere gratitude that I stand here today to express our collective appreciation to the Tinubu's administration for its generous donation of compressed natural gas buses, CNG buses, to the TUC and the NLC. This gesture is not only a welcome support for our unions, but also a clear reflection of the renewed hope agenda, which seeks to improve the welfare of Nigerians. The introduction of these CNG buses come at a critical time as a cheaper alternative to premium motor spirit, PMS. CNG presents a more affordable, sustainable, and environmentally friendly solution. The buses will reduce the transportation costs for our workers traveling to and from their working places. This step forward brings us closer to a future where both workers and the planet benefit from such forward-thinking policies, which is commendable. However, while we deeply appreciate this donation, we must acknowledge a concern. The number of buses provided is not fully proportional to the needs of the workforce. With 36 states, for instance, across the Federation, and a large population of workers under the TUC and the NLC, we urge the government to do more. The current number of buses, though appreciated, is not enough to address the logistical challenges we face. Therefore, we encourage the administration to expand this initiative, providing additional resources to ensure that every worker can benefit from this program. On another note, we equally wish to place on record our gratitude for the implementation of the 70,000 Naira national minimum wage. This move is a major step in alleviating the economic burden of Nigerian workers. The consequential adjustment that comes with this new minimum wage will have a lasting positive impact on the life of workers, empowering them to provide better living for their families and contribute even more to their well-being. While we celebrate this achievement, we also urge the federal government to continue to prioritize the well-being of the working people and the poor, who are the fabric of wealth creation in this country. Beyond the workforce, let's not forget the downtrodden, the most vulnerable in our society, whose welfare must also be considered in national policies. At the same time, we call on state governors to ensure the immediate and full implementation of the new national minimum wage and its consequential adjustment in their respective states. Every worker in Nigeria, regardless of their location, deserves to enjoy the benefit of these wage increases. And it is imperative that the states follow suit what the federal government of Nigeria has done. Once again, we extend our deepest gratitude to the Tinubu administration for this commendable effort. We remain hopeful that these are the first step of many in improving the lives of Nigerian workers and the poor. Together, we can build a bigger future for Nigerian and Nigerian workers. God bless Nigeria and happy independence, Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Comrade Nuhu Toro from the from the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria. At this point, I would invite his brother from the sister labor union, that is the NLC, Comrade Uchenna Ekwe of the Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC.
Your Excellencies, now when you come to speak where there's so many people, you have to be very careful. Well, as I was coming in, I've at least overheard Comrade Nuhu, our counterpart, speaking. I take it from there. At least the good part is at last one of the contentious issues is on ground, the CNG buses. I want to believe that it's just the takeoff, that clearly we will get more buses. Certainly, if we get more buses, the effect will translate immediately. And once it translates, I keep saying it, most times when we have tension with people in government, I have the privilege also that I have shared part of being in government. I whisper to them that the Nigerian people are easy people to deal with. If people start entering these buses and start having the effect, they'll be shouting it in their neighborhood. They are not like contractors, which if people pay their money, they will not talk, so that those that are owing will not come to talk. The day you will pay money, salary, everybody in the neighborhood will know that salary has been paid. That one governor once told us that he knows that salary has been paid from traders who text him to thank him because the workers are coming to buy. That's the thing with the working people. Once we started using the buses, we'll be talking about it wherever we are. We will not keep quiet. So if you give us more buses, we'll announce you. We won't wait for the press to talk about it. We'll be talking it in the street. So we appreciate the bus, but we need more. Thank you.
Well, it's good to be Oliver Twist to ask for more. But it's also very commendable that you also commended what is already on offer. At this point, we come towards the end, and I would call on the president of the largest student union on the African continent, the president of the National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, Comrade Loki Emonefe, to also give his own remarks at the occasion of this.
With all due respect to the Honorable Minister of Finance and the Coordinating Minister of the Economy, I want to stand on the already established protocol and of course my articulate Nigeria student, greatest Nigeria students.
Great.
Greatest Bobo.
Bobo.
Greatest Bagba.
Bagba.
Today we are happy to be here. on the occasion of this handing over of these CNG buses to the Nigerian masses and representative of the Nigerian masses. As we all know, Nigerian students are the most agitated youth body in all the whole of African nation. And as a representative of over 40 million Nigerian students, today we are happy that the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria have kept to his promise. We remember during the national broadcast, Mr. President promised, and in our visit to him, he promised us a way of calming down and bringing down the cost of transportation through the CNG buses. It shows his commitment to the welfare of Nigerian students, and we are proud of that. I can categorically state that Nigerian students will be very happy in celebrating the 64th anniversary, independence anniversary of this country. We are happy. It's not only the CNG buses. We are very grateful because we believe that the current President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, he loves the welfare of Nigerian students and has been committed towards it. One of the greatest achievements he has given to we Nigerian students is the student loan. Today, we can boldly state that no Nigerian citizen will say he does not have access to higher education. All over the country, we'll be moving around sensitizing Nigerian students that your full tuition fee will be paid by this government. This is the campaign promises President Tinubu gave to us. And we can equally state that since the assumption of office of this president, ASU have never shut down our school. And we are proud of that. So on behalf of Nigerian students, the over 40 million Nigerian students, we want to appreciate Mr. President for his commitment to the welfare and the education and advancement of our nation. These buses given to NANS, it will ease the cost of transportation in our campuses, and we are happy about that. We are going to distribute them judiciously to our various campuses to ease transportation and encourage us not to have more consumption of fuel. We will not be depending on energy, and we are very proud of this. On behalf of Nigerian students, we want to give the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 3 fundamental goals.
Bosa, Bosa, Bosa.
Thank you, and God bless you.
We cannot do a CNG program without that natural board of
Economy. Gentlemen of the press, thank you all for making this special occasion. And I want to assure you that the Presidential CNG Initiative steering committee and management are fully committed to helping to ensure the execution of the President's vision to transition Nigeria from expensive, unreliable PMS and diesel to cheaper, safer, and more reliable compressed natural gas fuel transportation. Since our founding, exactly 1 year ago, when Mr. President announced the Presidential CNG Initiative, we've been able to move the nation forward in a positive direction. For one, there were just 7 conversion centers in Nigeria this time last year. Today, we can boast of over 125 conversion centers across Nigeria. In addition to this, we've seen a massive influx of investment. The Honorable Minister talked about investment. We've been able to track over $175 million investment in the sector coming into mother stations. Additional 12 mother stations have been commissioned between last year and today. We've seen additional refueling stations being invested in, about 75 of them currently under construction, and commissioning of about 12 already this year, and we expect another 25 before the end of the year. Jobs are being created, technicians are being trained. Just last year, we could boast of just less than 100 conversion technicians in Nigeria. Yesterday, I visited a workshop in Lukuguma where the gentleman spoke about training about 40 new technicians every week in this country. NITT, NADDC, all of these institutions are training every day, and this is something that is really splendid, and it's something that we must commend Mr. President for having the vision to power this program forward. Beyond this, over 34,000 conversion kits are already ordered, and already we have more than half of that in our hands and are already being distributed. Conversion is taking place across Nigeria. Yesterday, 53 conversion centers in 8 states were engaged in conversions. We hope by next week, additional 2 states will join the train, and slowly but surely, all the 36 states of Nigeria and the FCT will have conversion centers and will be converted. This is something I believe that deserves a round of applause, and I want to thank Mr. President. I want to thank all the ministers, Minister of Finance, Minister of Economy, and Minister of Information, everybody, Minister of Youth for your collaboration, Minister of Budget and Planning, you've been very supportive to us, and we cannot thank you enough. And of course, I want to thank our steering committee, the leadership. Thank you very much. Thank all of you for your support. Thank you. God bless you. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you very much. And at this point, these events come to a close. Thank you. Oh, okay, no problem. So, the Honorable Ministers will lead.
Honorable Minister of Finance.
Yes, Honorable Minister of Finance will lead the dignitaries into cutting of the cake. I mean, cutting of the. Of course, it's actually a cake of the our independence, which is actually coming earlier than the day, and there will be just driving by the Honorable Minister as well. Thank you. They are not using the microphone there, huh? No, they don't have to. They don't need it. Is he doing a time?
Nine, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Congratulations. God and to the benefit of the unions and all Nigerians in general for this state to launch 64 CNG buses.
We have also been reliably informed that there will be a test drive of the minister is going to be the first one. Confirming that the bus is functional and ready to transport millions of Nigerians across our capital states. Thank you. Gentlemen of the press, please make way as the minister test drive. The locally assembled 18
Don't change the rules. Shut it up, please. Make way.
You can see the minister that's driving the vehicle. That's the coordinating minister of economy. And on his entourage is the Minister of Information, the labor leaders, and other ministers here. Well, there's no conductor, the car is on auto drive. The test drive is done. The car is set and ready to move to all the capital states in the country.
You can open the boot, the cylinder at the back.
Cylinder, let's open the cylinder. Let's open the boot. Open the boot.
You see the compressor here.
These are 2 tankers.
Come and see the compressor. Where is our minister?
Yeah.
Honorable Minister.
Oh, they are interviewing him.
Already.
What is the Minister for
Budget.
They're together, I think.
No, HM budget.
Which budget? He's here. Yes. And
This is
the cylinder.
The minister.
They are interviewing. Oh, yeah, I'm not talking about that one. Also connected. Hey, okay. This is the. Hey, come and explain now.
Okay.
Come and explain.
All right.
Come this way so that you say why we have this.
All right, so
Look this way.
these are the 2 tanks that fuel this vehicle. This vehicle is by 4, so it's not just the petrol tank is still there. The CNG tank. So this CNG tank, I think each of them, one is 100, the other one is 120. Okay, actually put 100. So this is a 200-liter water tank. So equivalent, you're talking about 25 SCM each.
This will take you to where?
So this will take you about, easily this will take you to Kaduna.
I'm back.
Kaduna is
6 full tanks of fuel of petrol.
I see.
These 2 tanks are equivalent to 6 full tanks of fuel.
Okay, so it can go to Kano.
More than Kano. Yes. So what you see is that for this now to fill up these tanks now is about 12,000. The vehicle itself, the PMS, will be about 72. So please say it for the cameras. So this will take 12,000 as opposed to 72,000 that petroleum will cost. And this is equivalent to 6.
Okay, even 8,000.
And you can put your luggage on top.
No. This is fully bulletproof. So this is bulletproof, and it's
The tanks are
bulletproof, and you can see it's non-X-ray. I mean, seamless white. I mean, there's no joints, no welding, so it can't escape.
You can put your luggage on top of
Put your luggage on it. So you're saving. Put your luggage on.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
David, I deal with us almost because.
Can we bring the wireless?